It says I'm live, but the little spinny thing is going. I think I'm live. All right, now it's popped up. It says I'm alive. Hi, everybody. Good morning. As you can see here, it is still very dark this morning as we are going into the change of the seasons. I think Saturday, Saturday we changed the clocks back. So it might be a little bit lighter in next week's videos. But it's very dark here this morning, so but that's okay. We are here today to craft some witch balls. Um, Before we do that, my name is Julie. I am the owner and founder of Lady Faltai. I created Lady Faltai probably about 5 years ago. Over the 5 years, it has changed several times. And is in the process of changing yet again a little bit, not nearly as much as it has in the past, but so going into the new year there will be a few changes. One of the things I will remain doing is the weekly forecasts, the astrology forecasts, talking about different energies that are coming through, different holidays that are coming through, some things you may want to prepare for, things you may want to celebrate, all that kind of stuff. So I will still be doing those on Monday morning. I've actually changed them. They were at 7:30 till 8, and I found that it was a little hard getting everything in by 8 o'clock. Actually starting next Monday, they're going to be at 7:15, just like this video. So they'll both be 7:15 to 8. So that change is coming next Monday. Not a big change. Probably not really going to affect anybody because most people don't watch them live because I come so early. Leading to my next change is that next year I'm actually going to try to do some of them in some of my videos in the evening. I'm not really sure how that's going to play out yet or how that's going to work. But I'm going to basically kick my husband out of the living room every once in a while and try to do some videos. It's not so much because he doesn't care. He'll go find something to do. But when he's moving around and doing things and whatnot, I tend to get distracted and lose my train of thought, and I get squirrel brain very easy. So, but that change is going to be coming as well. One of the other things is I am probably not going to do a video every week. I think I'm going to limit it to, it will still be quite often, going to limit it to different holidays. So it'll be the pagan wheel that we will be doing. So the 8 holidays of that, I will be doing a video for some sort of crafting for each of those. If you're ever interested in learning what those 8 holidays are, you can go back to my previous videos. I've done, basic intro information kind of on all of the different Celtic holidays and some other holidays as well. When I first started, I did a lot of different kind of holidays. So there's all kinds of videos in the on YouTube or on Facebook that you can go back and look at for learning all about the different holidays of the wheel, for the pagan wheel. So I'm going to be doing those 8. So, and then I think I'm going to be doing, videos for new moon and full moon, but it won't be rituals. What it's going to be is, because there's a million people out there that do ritual videos for free, and I don't really feel like I need to compete with all of that. So what I was thinking is everybody really seems to like the crafting part of it. So what I thought we would do is I would try to come up with a craft to make for each new moon or full moon that you could use in ritual. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. So, but nothing's set in stone. If you guys don't like that, let me know. Be like, no, we want you to come every week. But you know, if you're fine with that, and that's okay too. This year we did a video every month for the chakras. Last year we did a video every month for the astrology signs. So this year coming up, we were gonna I was gonna do the same thing, one every month for all the different types of clairs. So clairvoyant, clairsentient, all those things. But I decided instead I'm just gonna bang them out. So they're going to be 8 videos right through January, right through February, and then it will go into the normal of going to be for the 8 holidays and full moon and new moon. So, you know, we have 8 holidays and then we have a new moon and a full moon every month. And this month we have 2 full moons in October. So you guys are still going to see plenty of me. But anywho, I'll pull my chair in here a little. Oh, sorry, I got a new chair and it's super comfy, but it's not the easiest thing to move. So today we're going to be crafting witch balls. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about witch balls before we get started. You know, crafting is fun and I love doing it, but for me, I like to know why we're doing them. You know, what's the purpose, things like that. So I will tell you in a very short version to start with, witch balls are not really much different concept of the protection bundles we did, which mine is in my pocketbook. The protection bundles I like because we did them in a little fabric bundle. It went right in my purse and it goes in my purse and it stays there. I also have one that's next to my bed that I had made that is just on my bedstand, my nightstand as well. So those are easy to just kind of put them wherever you want and take them with you. The witch balls are a nice way to hang them up in your home. So if you are looking for protection in your home, and I'll go into the history a little bit of it in just a second, but so the witch balls are nice to just hang in your home. You know, you can put the bundles anywhere you want, but the bundles I really like because, like I said, they're portable. They're easy to put in your purse. They're easy to put in your pocket. You know, whatever you want to do with them. They're just easy to carry around. Where the witch balls are really great for in the home to work with for protection. And then not next week, the week after, I think we're going to learn how to craft a poppet. And a poppet is, some of you will say it's a voodoo doll and stuff. It's not a voodoo doll. But a poppet is a really nice way to have a piece for your altar. So that's kind of, you know, because you can, you know, be like, well, why do I need to make it in all these different ways? You don't need to make it in all these different ways. You can make it in just the bundle and use the bundle for any of those things. You know, you can use the bundle for protection for your home. You can use the bundle and put it on your altar. These are just different types of ways of doing it. If you don't want to do it in multiple different ways, that's perfectly fine. But I'm just showing you some of the different ways you can do things, and just peeling off the stickers off the balls. Showing you some of the different ways you can do things and why you might want to do them differently. So, but it's completely up to you if you know, do that or not. But and we'll talk more about poppets. It's not next Thursday, it's the Thursday after, as of right now, that I have planned. And we'll talk about what those look like for an altar, because you can use those for more of an intention setting than protective. But you could make a poppet for protective as well. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if you feel called to do it, then do it. I don't really think there's like a, oh, you can't do that kind of thing. Which there are people out there that will tell you that, oh, you can't do that. But a poppet is not a voodoo doll. I just want to put that out there. But anyway, getting back to the witch balls. So I'm going to talk about them for just a few minutes, and then we will get into crafting them, okay? I promise. I have a huge pile here of different herbs that we can put in them. So I'll teach you a little bit about those as well. We can't go into every single one of them because I don't think we have time for that. But I'll try to teach you a little bit about each one as best as I can in a short time. So, witch balls. I'm not a history person. I love to know where things came from and why we do things we do and all that. But if you ask me dates or names or things or places or things like that, I'm not going to be able to tell you. So if you really want to dig into the history of it, you can. There's there's Wikipedia, of course, which, just be aware, Wikipedia, anybody can kind of change that information up on you. So but witch balls, and I've read a few different articles, reviews, web pages, whatever you want to call them now, blogs, vlogs, I don't even know what the names are anymore, that have a little bit of different opinions on them. But I will try to put this together in a coherent way that from the best I understand. Okay. So we all know back in the day that there was the witch trials, and that one of the things was, I won't go into the witch trials because I have my whole own theory and opinion on that, and I'm going to try to avoid going into that. But the witch trials, one of the things that they did was they would tie you to a board or a piece of wood or whatever and dip you in the water. If you drowned, you were not a witch. You were dead, but you were not a witch. If you didn't drown, then you were a witch and you were hung. So either way, you were dead. But it was just whether or not you got classified as being a witch or not. So there's a very small connection here, but back then people were very superstitious, people were frightened, people were quick to try anything that they thought was going to protect them. So even though it's a small leap, or I should say a big leap, a small connection, we have to put ourselves back to back then when time was very scary for them, and they were quick to believe anything that might be helpful to them. So in the theory that witches had a connection with water, and that's why they didn't drown, ties over somehow, I'm not exactly sure how, but fishermen back then used to have these glass balls that were maybe a little bit bigger than this. They were hand-blown glass balls. Back then they didn't have rubber and plastic and things like that. And these glass balls were put in their fish nets to help their fish nets float. Side note on that, those balls were, back then glass blowing was not like anything it is now. It was very frosted, and it came out in many different colors, sometimes blues, greens, sometimes just a frosted white. And that is where we now get sea glass from those glass balls that broke out in the ocean, and they tumbled through the ocean and washed up on the shore, and that's where sea glass comes from. So if you see sea glass on the shore, pick it up. It's hard to come by now because people learned about sea glass and went out and picked it all up, and people make jewelry out of it and wire wrap it and things like that. I was like, what's that noise? It's my washing machine. It's done. So that's where sea glass comes from, and it's different types of blues and greens and frosted white glass that is tumbled and looks kind of more like a rock than shards of glass. But anyway, these glass balls floated, and so somehow they made the connection that these glass bulbs floated and witches didn't drown, um, and somehow tied them together. Nothing that I read clearly says why that is. But anyway, so the theory of it, I'm taking longer than I want here. The theory of it was that if you hung these glass balls in your home, evil witches couldn't come into your home. That they would ward off the witch or the evil if you hung these glass balls in your home. Now when you go to the beach all the time, you see those big glass balls that have like the netting, the rope tied around them. That's where that kind of came from. And then from there, it turned into the theory that if you had a witch ball hanging up, and I was going to grab mine and I totally forgot, because what the witch balls ended up turning into was a hand-blown glass ball that was multicolored. So where the fishermen didn't really care what color the glass was, they were just using it for their fishing nets. They kind of turned into different colors and different designs and things like that. And that theory was that if you had one hanging in your home, the witch would be so entranced by this glass ball that she would basically forget what evil she came to do to you. She would get mesmerized by this glass ball and forget what she was there for. Some thought that the witch would get trapped inside the glass ball. So that was a theory as well, that if you had them hung up, the witch would stop to look at this glass ball, and somehow or another the glass ball was going to trap her. Again, you have to remember this was a very long time ago, and people were very superstitious, and people, were pretty much willing to try anything to make sure that they were protected. So with that being said, then the witch ball turned into, if you had a witch ball, people were being accused of being a witch because, and again, I'm trying to do this really quickly, but what was happening there was if you had a witch ball hung outside your house or in your window or whatnot, that the glass was actually reflecting outside. So somebody inside the house may have looked at the glass ball and seen someone walking up and been like, oh, Fred's going to come visit. And a few seconds later, Fred would knock on the door. And it was just because they were seeing the person in the mirror. But basically, they were like, oh, how can you see around a corner? You must be a witch. Or you're prophetic, so, you can see the future, so you must be a witch. Then everybody that had a witch ball for protection was now up for game for being accused as being a witch, because if you had a witch ball, you were a witch and not warding off a witch. So, and quick note on that, that's where the big glass mirrors come from in the grocery stores for seeing around corners, is because people could see around corners with these glass balls that were hanging in their house. So then people were being accused of being a witch. Then later in history, these glass balls ended up actually as lawn ornaments. Everybody has probably seen the big glass bulbs that people put out on their lawn for lawn decorations. So the witch ball has turned into that. And now, as we move into today, the witch ball has kind of gone back to just a decorative piece that most people hang in their home because they don't really know the history of it and what it is. But I do have one. You cannot see it because it's way back hanging in that window back there. And I was going to grab it this morning and I totally forgot. It's a very pretty purpley swirly glass bulb that my husband bought me. So, but going all the way back to the beginning, they were hung with the intention of protection. So, people have started to make these for protection. Now, I've also read where these have been made for a really long time in other countries, and the tradition was that you made them during Samhain, which is Halloween for most of us now, because that is the Celtic New Year, and that you would make these at Samhain. You would hang them up in your home for protection, and you would leave them up all year long, and then next Samhain you would make a new one and replace it and hang that one all year long, and so on and so forth. Every year at Samhain you would make a new one and hang it up. So there's a couple of different versions, and there's probably some versions that I've missed, but I kind of thought the one about the witch trials and how the glass bulbs from kind of went through was kind of a neat little story, although I probably didn't do it justice in telling the story. But so with that being said, like I said, going way back to the beginning, they originally were hung for protection. So that is what most witch balls that are, actually made witch balls are usually for protection. I will try to remember to take a picture of my witch ball, or I'll find one on, the internet to show you guys. But once you see the picture, you'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen those before. Because, like I said, the big ones that people put out on their lawn is basically a witch ball. So what I've done for today is I have grabbed a bunch of different herbs that are all for protection. And I've got, I did not have glass balls, kind of limited where we are right now, where I am. I don't have a lot of craft stores nearby. And as some of you may have noticed, sometimes getting stuff lately has been pretty hard. So to order anything on Amazon was not going to get here in time. So I did have these plastic ones that I bought at the dollar store. So they're going to be a little harder to work with because usually they would have a hole at the top and you could just put your stuff in it. This I have 2 halves, so I'm going to basically have to fill a half and then close it up. But I do have 3 different ones here, and was going to kind of try to make 3 different styles to show you guys kind of the different ways you could do this. And be creative, make it your own. I like to have things look a little more earthy looking, natural looking, and if you're somebody who likes glitter and sequins and all that stuff, that's perfectly fine too. It should be something that you want in your home and you enjoy to look at. So literally I have a giant stack of herbs here. So I'm going to turn the camera down and we're going to start going over the herbs. Again, it's going to have to be kind of quick because we have to decorate still. And I changed screens. I did this before. Oh, heavens. You guys were probably fine, but I ended up on a whole different web page here somehow. So, some of the different herbs that I have here. Should have done this before. These are all herbs and that are for protection. And believe it or not, there are many more out there that I don't have, or I didn't pull, or I didn't get into. I will tell you there was a couple that were listed on some of them that I don't consider protective, but if you want to put them in, the theory is if you're removing energy, you should be filling it back up with something. So if you're removing negative energy, you can put herbs for love or abundance or desire or whatever in the balls to replace the energy is one theory that people have. So again, do what you feel called to. But for this purpose, I am sticking to just protective herbs. So one of them is red sandalwood. That is protective. So it purifies, removes negative energy, healing, grounding, and meditative. So I'm going to take a little bit, and these are not going to be fancy. I will tell you that. If you want to be fancy, go right ahead. So I'm just going to put a few of those in my first bulb. Second one I have is sassafras bark. And you can't really tell by the camera too much, but this is kind of a reddish color. And this one is kind of a reddish brown. So the first bulb I am doing with basically some red herbs. So sassafras bark is for longevity, health, easing pain, and energetic protective. So again, I told you this is going to be quick. Sometimes crafting in 45 minutes is hard to do. And again, I'm just putting a little bit of that in my first bulb. All right, what else do I have here? All right, so next I have red sage root. You can use white sage as well, but I was kind of sticking to doing a whole red one here. I don't know why, I just thought that would be kind of neat. So we all know sage is clearing and protective. And I can't get this open. There we go. I'm blind. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that in there. It's not red like the red sandalwood, but it is pretty red. There's another one here I was looking for. I don't see it. Why don't I see it? All right. Hold still here. There's another one. St. John's was one that was listed as protective. I don't really use it as protective. It's more for courage and happiness than protective, but it was one of the ones written down on one of the lists I saw. Motherwort was also written down as one of them. This is more for, I've got it for success and confidence and peace. Cedar berries you could use. Those are for purifying. Actually, I'm going to put a couple of cedar berries in here in my red bulb. And I'm going to put 3 in there. But I was looking for, why can't I find it? I was looking for some, I had some, I thought I had some cinnamon bark. Dogwood, oakwood, chamomile. Yeah, I have a lot of herbs, guys. Cinquefoil, red clover, nutmeg, ginger root. Sorry, that was probably loud for you guys. Cinnamon chips, right here. Of course, the very last one. And so cinnamon chips are power, prosperity, headaches, desire. But cinnamon is, excuse me, cinnamon is also listed as protective. It's hard because when you get digging down in, pretty much every herb out there says it's for protectiveness, but that may not always be their first purpose. So cinnamon, the first purpose is pain and then desire. But it does say safety, so I'm going to put that in there for the red one. So basically what I've done is, I don't think I have any others that are really kind of red. I've put all the different safety protection herbs that are basically red in color in one sometimes they just smell so good. All right, so I'm actually going to just leave that one as it is now. You guys can't really see it, but and again, the camera's not really capturing it, but those are all just some red, different types of red herbs that are in there. All right, so then moving over to my second bulb, I'm going to put a little bit of angelica root, which is for protection and self-esteem. And, you know, really, as far as the herbs go, you guys can Google and research and, you know, find whatever you want to put in there. Next, I'm going to go with some mullein leaf. And that is for warding off evil spirits, is what I've written down here. Couple of the other things that I didn't put in here is one thing you can use for protection is you can take your eggshells and dry them and then crush them up in your mortar and pestle and put them in there as well. Next, I'm going to take for this one some wormwood. So wormwood is protective for dreams, for astral travel. Also gets rid of pests and insects. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in here. And again, this is just a matter of just, you know, putting a little bit in the bulb. There's really not much to it. Part of it is setting the intention. These are all intentions of protection. This one is buchu leaf. So buchu leaf is one of my favorites. It is protective. It is healing. It wards off evil. It is anti-inflammatory and antibacterial, along with, you know, like our Palo Santos and our sage, which we didn't smudge this morning. Oh my heavens. But buchu leaf, along with mugwort, which I don't think I put mugwort up here, are smokable. So you can put them in a tea and drink them, but they are also smokable. And they will give you slightly the same effect as marijuana. It's not illegal. It doesn't have any THC or whatever it is, the hallucinogenic part of whatever. I don't smoke marijuana, so I don't know all about it. But this will just kind of give you that relaxed, dropped in kind of feel. It's really great if you're going to meditate or journey to use some buchu leaf or some mugwort. The buchu leaf I'm actually going to put in the red one. I'm feeling called to add something other than red to that, and so I'm going to put the buchu leaf in that. Again, if you want more information about any of these specific herbs, you can just comment or send me a private message and let me know, and I'll be happy to talk about that. Next, I'm going to do agrimony, and this is sleep, dreams, protective, purifies your aura, great for visions, protect your psyche. And this is not really red, but I'm going to put it in the red jar. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to put it in jar number 2. And then the remaining herbs I will put in jar number 3. Jar. Bulb. Alright, so I'm going to put that in there. Speaking of jars, that was one of the things I was going to talk to you about, is if you don't have glass bulbs, that's perfectly fine. I'm using plastic ones, but you can pretty much use anything you want. You can use a jar from your kitchen. I bought these at the dollar store. They're really cute little types of glass jars in different sizes. So I got like small, medium, and large here. They were all $1 at the dollar store. And so you could easily put any of these in these and make yourself a little protection jar you can set on the shelf or something as well. So, you know, think outside the box. If you don't have a glass bulb, or you don't want a glass bulb, or whatever the issue is, you can always use some of those other things. Another thing that you can put in your glass bulbs is black sand. You can also use pretty much any kind of salt if you want. Salt is very purifying and protective. But I do have a little bit of black sand, so I'm going to put a little bit of that into bulb number 3. Not a lot, just a little bit. You don't need to fill it up. It's not like I really need this to be protective, so I'm going to fill it up. Really, you just, a little bit is fine. So moving over to nettle leaf is protective. And I have some things on my phone I saved to go over real quick. But we are quickly running out of time. Elm bark is protective, cycles, love, intuition, great for Mercury communications, so that is definitely an herb for me. Kind of an odd looking one. It looks more like fabric. Looks more like a fabric, really, like a cottony, fibrous fabric more than an herb. But we also have meadowsweet, which is pan protection, which is kind of like an overall protectiveness, blanket protection. It also attracts sweet energy. So again, this is a good one to use if you want to be clearing but filling the space back up with something positive. Rosemary, so you probably have that in your cupboard, is protective. It's for the water sign. It's love. It's also got a connection with Hecate. And Hecate has a pretty interesting story. If you ever want to hear that, I can certainly tell you that story as well someday. I might have told you. I don't know. Sometimes I forget. We're going to round this off with a bay leaf in this one. Bay leaves are protective, healing, purifying, grounding. I'm back. All right, sorry, I think I froze there for a second. So bay leaves are healing, protective, purifying, grounding, and I was just saying that they are really good for lots and lots of different types of things. They're good for releasing, they're good for setting new intentions. There's a ton of stuff there. So just going to kind of move these up a little bit so you can see them. Try to go over some of this real quick. Some of the other things people put was moss for trapping negative energies. Rosebuds are, again, if you want to be replacing the energy, so love and intuition. Lavender is for peace and calming. Let's see what else I have here. That may have been it. St. John's wort, I did mention before. People have it as protective and happiness. Star anise for good luck, for clairvoyance, for psychic dreams. Patchouli, again, is protective and for prosperity. And devil's claw was one that they've got in here. White sage, I talked about that a little bit. So there's lots and lots and lots of herbs that you can use basically for this. For the other thing is you can always use crystals. So I have 3 quartz points here that I actually took out of candles, because a lot of candles now come with quartz in them. So 2 of them I'm going to put the quartz inside. The other one I'm going to save. It's a nice quartz piece, I'm going to actually save and put it on the outside. So I'm going to put that on the outside of the red one. So again, I'm going to just close these up. And you know, like I said, there's not a lot in these. They don't need to be filled. If you want to fill them, go ahead and fill them. Some of the other things is you can buy at the dollar store. You can buy little decorative beads. You can buy, let me see here before I close this up. If I can find it real quick. At the dollar store, you can buy wood. Sounds funny, but you can buy these little sticks. So in this one, I'm going to put a little stick in there. Maybe two. Or get another little one. I like to do things in threes. Alright, so three. So I put 3 pieces of wood in that one. Just more for decoration to make it kind of feel and look filled up. Alright, so we're going to close this, maybe. Alright. Trying to close it and line up the top piece to tie it off here. Alright. So one of the things I was going to do with this is, and I know I'm running out of, I literally have like 5 minutes to finish this up. I took too long describing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my glue gun, and hopefully it's hot enough, and I'm going to just go right around that seal where that is. And then I'm just going to try to lay, I forgot my mat. Usually I put paper down. Yeah, see, I tried to hurry that, and now the glue is already drying before I got it on there, but you guys will get the point. Alright. You guys probably know this, but if you put glue on it and it's already dried, you can just use the hot tip to kind of remelt the glue and not apply more glue and make it look too bubbly. So, and then I'm going to just put this piece through the hole. Maybe. Yeah. That's my alarm telling me I'm out of time. Alright, so put this through the hole. And there you go. That's, you know, very plain, simple, easy one to do. I'm going to actually go back and tie that a little bit and make it a little bit sturdier. But to finish off this one, this is the one that has all the red in it. I'll go back and I'll go back and glue them after. But I have this really neat red, I bought it to do something with a snowman a long time ago. But it's very pretty, red, sparkly. So I'm going to have to probably get a little tricky with this. I might have to tie the string on first. But I'll try to put it on there so you guys can. Yeah, I'm going to have to put the string on, otherwise this is just going to keep popping off and I will have to hot glue gun it. But this was all the red herbs that I put in here. And I'm thinking I might go back even and put a red crystal in here. Something I can find red. And then for this one, I am going to glue that crystal point right on the top there. And I will come back and show you guys all of that. The bay leaf one, I thought we could do something a little different with. And put the cover on. Make sure it's on. So with this one, I don't know how easy this is going to be, but I bought this purple glittery tape stuff. Hopefully that's long enough. And peel off the back. And you could use different colors besides purple. I just happen to, I have purple and I have a blue, but the purple was already open, so I thought I'd go with the purple. And it is a little tricky getting tape to go on a round surface here, but it actually doesn't go, it's not going on that bad. And then you can decorate the top to kind of, I'm actually going to put just a little slit in the tape so that it'll go down over the sides a little bit. So if I just cut a little slit right there, I can get it to kind of go in front of and behind. And so when it's hanging up in your window, you kind of have a little reflective tape there. I also had a piece of purple ribbon. I save things from all kinds of stuff. This came out of, you know, like the bags that your stones come in, like this. And one of them pulled through when I went to pull it. So I was like, you know what, I'm saving that. And I'm just going to double knot it up here. Now I'm thinking maybe on this one, I might put a flower. But I don't know what I have for flowers right now. I don't want to use like a spring flower, but that one's going to be way too big. Yeah, the other one I have for purple right now is more like a pansy, which is kind of a spring flower, but joys of going live. I'm trying to basically cut that off there. There we go. And I'm going to put a big glob of glue right there and stick that flower there. So this one kind of has more of a springtime feel to it, where this one it has more of a Christmassy, kind of wintry, kind of looks like a little red scarf. That I am going to put the crystal point up here on it instead of a flower. And this one, I think the only thing I'm going to do is I might wrap this around to kind of cover. That's a really quick, ugly job, but to kind of cover that up so you can't see it. And hang it. And leave this one just like it is. very plain, very natural, simple look. So, so yeah, so that's basically it in a nutshell. Again, be creative. You can put rhinestones. You could put glitter inside if you wanted. You know, adding glitter inside of it isn't going to like make the herbs not work or anything like that. It's not gonna, you know, like if I put glitter in it, it won't be a protective, you know, ball anymore. You can, like I said, you could do the eggshells. You know, you could put in some tobacco, some white sage for some offerings to the spirits. They really like tobacco. If you wanted to do an offering to spirits to help protect you. And again, then you can put in anything that you feel that you are trying to replace energy with. So if you're trying to just make things a more loving environment around your home, you could put the rose petals. If you're just trying to make things a little more calm, you might want to go with the lavender and some chamomile maybe. So really depends on what you really want in your witch ball. And you don't even have to make it protective. You could completely just put in you know, herbs that are all about love and desire. Or you could put in herbs that are all about creativity. If you, you know, if you have a workspace, like I do here, if you had a little workspace, especially if you are, you know, doing some sort of writing or art, anything like that, and you really wanted to bring in some creativity, you could use all creative herbs and put a little piece of carnelian in there. I mean, it's really endless what you could do. And sometimes I know for some of you that's really hard when I say just take it and make it your own. And some of you are more like, no, I need to know step A, B, C, D. And I need you to tell me from finish to end how to make it and what to put in it. And so this is what I try to do a little bit here, but leave it with you to do the finishing touches. And like I said, you don't have to run out and buy anything if you know, don't have the money. I showed you those little jars. You know, one of the things that I love to reuse is those little jelly jars. You know how you get at Christmas time those little gift packs that have like all the different little jellies in them or relishes or whatever. I save those, wash them, take the labels off them and whatnot, and use them. I was trying to see if I had one around here. I do somewhere. I use them a lot for the honey jars. This jar is right now full of an incense that I made this weekend, but it actually had a candle in it. I peeled the label off it. I scrubbed it all up. I cleaned out the whole inside. Still has the sticker on the bottom though, but I didn't really care about that. I've made it a nice little incense jar. So you can certainly use things around your home that you have. You don't need to go out and buy anything. For this right here, I didn't go out and buy anything. These are all things I had. Of course, I have a little bit more than probably most people have. But cinnamon, rosemary, bay leaves, you probably have those all in your kitchen cupboard. You can make something with that. And any jar around that you have, whatever size it is, you can use and then decorate it. And you can have a nice little protection jar. So again, don't overthink it. This is a jar that I bought, but you could always glue a nice gemstone on it just to give it that little extra. So I bought this set, but if you have the cabochons, the flat gems on the back that most people use for making jewelry, you can glue them onto a jar and decorate it that way. Again, its possibilities are really endless to make it your own and make it something that you want to have in your house. And that is pretty to look at as well as useful, purposeful, and yeah, there's just so many things you could do. Sometimes my brain has a hard time of just reeling in what it actually wants to show you and do, because I have so many things that I could show you and do. But obviously, I got into doing 3 bulbs here, and that was probably too long. But I probably talked too long about the history as well. So on that note, I do have to go to work. I do still have a muggle job that I have to go to. I will see you guys all on Monday, and we will do our weekly forecast as normal. I hope everybody has a really great weekend, great Halloween, Samhain. If you're local to me, I am in Groveton, New Hampshire. If you're local to me, I am doing a Samhain gathering tomorrow night, Friday, in Groveton. It's $22, and we're going to be decorating our brooms. So I have a whole bunch of pretty brooms that I bought and lots of decoration stuff, and it's more getting together and having a group of like-minded people share with each other, besides you guys just listening to just me all the time. But super fun. We had a really good time at Mabon. We made wreaths. Samhain, we're making brooms, and I think for Yule we may be doing a Yule log. So again, try to pick crafts that will actually be something that you will be using or keeping, that will be meaningful to you. So anyway, and as always, be kind. For trick-or-treaters, if you're going out, or if you're handing out candy, use some extra precautions. Wear some gloves, wear a mask, keep some hand sanitizer handy, and just, I know it's a pain in the ass, and I know most of us hate wearing them. I hate wearing the mask, but I understand that it does have a purpose. It's not a safety shield. I don't put a mask on and think I'm not going to ever get COVID because I have a mask on, but I know the mask could help in that. So as well as the sanitizer and the gloves and keeping our distance, there's no 100% safety from it, but we can take some precautions and try to keep each other safe. For me, it's not so much like, I know I've read the articles about people who have been fairly healthy people and have caught COVID and have passed from it. But I'm more afraid, not so much for myself, but I'm afraid I'm going to catch it and then pass it on to a loved one who is then going to be very sick or pass away. And so it's not so much for myself, it's for my loved ones that I want to stay super safe. So think of it that way. I'd feel horrible if I caught it and then brought it home and gave it to my husband and something happened seriously bad to him. I'd have to live the rest of my life knowing that. It's not something I really want to do. So, yeah, that was a really bummer note, but just remember, be safe. It is, I know it's a pain in the ass, but we just really need to keep each other safe. And that is part of our kindness, right? So be kind, wear a mask. I'll see you guys all Monday. Love you. Bye.